The city of Hot Springs, while having one of the most complicated wastewater systems in the United States, has been recognized for innovative engineering and advanced technology. And with me today is Larry Merriman, who's the project manager for the city. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you. Good morning.
We're here at the Davidson Drive Regional Wastewater Treatment Plant to talk about some of the latest projects for the city's wastewater system.
Yes, as we all know, we have spent the last several years improving our conveyance and capacity throughout our system. What we have to remember is that all arrives at one point, and when it gets here, we have to adequately handle it so that our discharge permits are compliant and that we're doing the right things. So we're here this morning and very near where we are going to advance the technology once again by introducing ultraviolet disinfection as opposed to chlorine gas.
That's exciting, and we're looking forward to hearing more details about this big project. But starting with the ground up, how is the city overall meeting the requirements of CAO, which we've talked about before, which is the consent administrative order that is compelling these improvements to be made?
Yeah, we find ourselves in the final year of it. January 2018 was the mandate issued within that consent administrative order. To date, we have done over 15 miles of piping improvements. We have done system improvements through our treatment facilities, both here and our local one out at the Southwest plant. We have done pump station repairs and rehabs. We have done a lot, and we find ourselves positioned to be able to accommodate and comply with that mandate as it exists today.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Well, we're focusing on the very final phase of two piping projects. Can you describe those?
Yes, this is the Stokes Force Main and Fairwood Force Main. As you know, Fairwood actually originates about 10 miles from here. The Stokes Force Main originates at McLeod exit 4, as you come across the bypass. And they are both within the last probably 30 to 35% of their project life. They are on schedule. We are trying to get out of everyone's way. As you can see, if you drive past the hospital or somewhere, we're pretty visible, but we are slowly getting out of the limelight.
A lot of activity has taken place there.
It has. We have had a lot of good partners. Our contractors have performed very well. Design has been great, so it's been a good effort.
So let's go on to the project here at this regional facility, the biggest in terms of dollars to date. What is this project all about?
Well, this is actually two separate projects that we have combined for many reasons, one of which is cost and obviously scheduling. This will be the Headworks facility where we will improve and replace a lot of the antiquated and degraded grit chamber equipment. And then, as we talked about before, the UV versus chlorine gas. Chlorine gas obviously has risk to everyone, including our neighbors. So as we get rid of that, we mitigate a lot of potential risk and just to our staff itself. You know, these ultraviolet lights are essentially fluorescent lights doing the same thing that we're using a gas now that no one really wants to deal with.
So what will be the time frame for completion of this project?
We will complete this by the end of the year.
Okay. And let's talk about project safety, as we always do. To date, how have you implemented project safety?
Project safety has been very good. If you've been near Sam's Club, Best Buy, or somewhere up in there, we have really inconvenienced those folks. Lots of traffic through there, more so than I think we even anticipated. And yet we find ourselves once again working with the public to make sure that we protect both them and our staff.
What is some of the tangible benefits of the improvements that we're going to be making here?
Well, it's going to be basically quality of life if you summed it up. It's an environmental impact issue, right? No more overflows, so we're not putting anything into the water that our children and grandchildren swim in. We can walk adjacent to Hot Springs Creek and other creeks around here and enjoy the aroma of nature as opposed to the aroma of something else. So it really is. It's just quality of life. It's us being the stewards that we need to be of this very, very great area in which we live.
And you've overseen now years of these projects, so as we wrap up, how does it feel to be in the final phase?
A bit unique, a little concerning, perhaps, just to make sure we get it right. No one remembers the front, they remember the back, right? It's the last thing you said, not the first thing you said.
Yes. Well, thank you for overseeing the projects over the years. This may not be something that you'll actually see, the construction going on, but as you say, in terms of quality of life, it will make a difference for this generation and beyond.
It will, and one thing I would really want to ask folks to remember here is this is not just going into Lake Hamilton. We are now below Lake Hamilton. So what's happening here is going to affect Lake Catherine and our neighbors to the south.
A good thing to remember.
Yes.
Thank you, Larry, for joining us. And
Thank
let's
you.
have an update soon on the wastewater improvements for the city of Hot Springs.
Okay.
Next week, we'll bring you more city news.